સહજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય. વચનામૃત નંબર 149, ગઢડા મધ્ય પ્રકરણ, 16th Vachnamrut. Each Vachnamrut tries to teach us something. This Vachnamrut tries to teach us Niyam and Shraddha. What is Niyam? The guidelines that God has set for us seekers to follow. The discipline that God wants each of us seeker to inculcate, the consistency with which He wants us to lead our life. What will He get out of this? Nothing. What will we get out of it is an excellent state of being, a liberated mindset, constant stable feeling of peace, love, happiness. We will enjoy life much more. We will experience life much better. All this is possible when we follow the Niyams set by God. Why don't we follow the Niyams? Because we are constantly distracted, tempted by sensual pleasures, the pleasures of the five senses. They keep us so busy that we are constantly just caught up in serving the needs of the senses. The restlessness of the senses percolates into the mind, into the antahkaran, into the man, buddhi, chit and ahankar. Our 10 indriyas and 4 antahkarans are constantly just consuming. They are consuming our time, our bandwidth, our energy. They are draining us. Hence Muktanand Swami asks, પંચ વિષય જીતાય તે વૈરાગ્ય કરીને જીતાય છે કે કોઈ બીજો ઉપાય છે? Do I need to work on my detachment so that I win over my senses? Sriji Maharaj says no. Working on detachment won't help. વૈરાગ્ય હોય અથવા ન હોય, પણ જો પરમેશ્વરે કહ્યા એવા જે નિયમ તેને વિશે ખબરદાર થઈને રહે તો પંચ વિષય જીતાય. નિયમમાં ન રહે તો ગમે તેવો વૈરાગ્યવાન હોય તથા જ્ઞાની હોય પણ તેનો ઠા રહે નહીં. વિષય જીત્યાનું કારણ તો પરમેશ્વરના બાંધેલ જે નિયમ તે જ છે. નિયમમાં રહેવું એ જ ઉગર્યાનો ઉપાય છે. જેમ માંદો હોય તે કરી પાડીને ઔષધ ખાય તે જ નિરોગી થાય. This is like the medicine, the cure for our spiritual illness. Even if we have the best of knowledge, how much ever jnani we become, even if we are fully detached, but if we are not going to follow the niyams, the discipline, the boundaries, the agnyas of the Satpurush, the shloks in the Shikshapatri, the guidance given in the Bible, the Quran, the Vachnamrut, the Atma Siddhi Shastra. All these Shastras are guidelines, manuals of how life is supposed to be lived. But if we don't live a God-willing life and we continue living life as per our whims and fancies, we are never going to live a peaceful, happy and blissful life. Hence he says this is medicine. અખંડાનંદ સ્વામી asks that માંદાને તો કરીનો નિયમ હોય જે આટલા દિવસ જ કરી રાખવી, તેમ કલ્યાણના સાધનના કોઈ નિયમ છે કે નથી? How long and how much a dose of this niyams is to be followed by us so that we get cured? Like how medicines are supposed to be taken in a particular dose, in a particular intensity, for this longer tenure. Then how long must we follow and how intensely must we follow these niyams so that we overcome these sensual illnesses? He says, he gives a very beautiful example for this. જેમ કોઈ પુરુષ કાશીએ જાતો હોય ને તે આખા દિવસમાં 2 ડગલા ચાલતો હોય, તેને તો કાશીએ જાતા બહુ દિવસ લાગે. ને જે 20-20 ગાંવ ચાલવા માંડે તે તો અહીંથી કાશીએ થોડા દિવસમાં જ પહોંચે. તેમ જેને શ્રદ્ધા બળવાન હોય તે તો હમણાં તરત સત્સંગી થયો હોય તો પણ અતિશય સરસ થઈ જાય, અને જેને શ્રદ્ધા મંદ હોય તે તો ઘણા કાળ થયા સત્સંગી થયો હોય તોય પણ લોચો પોચો રહે છે. How much is our Shraddha in God decides how intense or how long our dose of Niyam needs to be. Do we have Shraddha? Do we have faith? He's questioning our very fundamental love and faith for God. When God says something, do we have full Shraddha in it? That God has created this universe. This is God's created manual. This is God speaking to me through the Vachnamrut right now. Whatever God is saying is the absolute truth. Do I have that kind of a Shraddha that whatever He says, I am going to blindfoldedly believe and implement in my life? If that implementation, if that Shraddha, if that faith is not strong, He says, જેને શ્રદ્ધા મંદ હોય તેને તો ઘણા જન્મે કરીને સાધનની પ્રાપ્તિ થાય. Like how he gave an example that a person is walking to Kashi. How soon he reaches Kashi depends on how much he walks. If you just walk 2 steps a day, you will take ages and births to reach Kashi. But if you are crossing 20 villages in a day, if you are just doing it like a marathon, you will reach faster. After being in satsang, after becoming seekers, after being blessed with a Satpurush, after having a Satguru who is guiding us, after finding the Shastra, after subscribing to this path, if our Shraddha is weak, if our faith is shaken, if we still trust our own antakaran, our own mind, our own buddhi, if we still don't control our senses, if we still don't follow the Niyams of the religion, of spirituality, of this path, of yoga, whatever we are following, if we are following the path of meditation, are we following all the steps that lead us to a successful meditation? And if we are not doing all of this, why are we into this? If we don't have Shraddha, we are not going to progress. If we are not going to win over our senses, we are not going to calm down till we are not going to totally, fully abide by the guidance of the Satpurush, till we are not going to completely surrender, nothing is going to help us. Akhandanand Swami asks, Tivra Shraddhavan Purush na shu lakshan che? How do I identify whether my Shraddha is Tivra or Mand? And he says that the excitement, the enthusiasm, the desperation, haste, the ulhas in spirituality will represent that, will indicate that. Am I very eager and enthusiastic about the darshan of God, about the kathavarta of God, about doing mansi puja? ભગવાનના દર્શને આવવું, ભગવત કથા વાર્તા સાંભળવી, ભગવાનની માનસી પૂજા કરવી, ભગવાન સંબંધી ક્રિયા કરવી, એ તો અતિશય ઉતાવળો થઈને કરે. વર્તમાન હોય તેને કરવાને અર્થે આકડો થઈ જાય. દર્શન સારું બાળકની પેઠે અકળાઈ જાય એવા લક્ષણ હોય એને તીવ્ર શ્રદ્ધાવાન જાણવું, અને તે સર્વે ઇન્દ્રિયોને પણ તત્કાળ વશ કરે છે એ સમજવું. A seeker who, after subscribing to this path, is extremely excited and enthusiastic and does all the kriyas of spirituality with a lot of love, not out of fear, not out of force, not out of reminders. Nobody needs to tell us that you need to do puja. Nobody needs to remind us that we need to listen to a Vachnamrut. Nobody needs to force us to do kirtans of God. It has to come from within. It has to come with love. It has to come proactively. We must feel like doing it. That's the sign of a high Shraddhavan Purush. Akhandanand Swami again asks, જેને શ્રદ્ધા મંદ હોય તેને શ્રદ્ધા કેમ વૃદ્ધિ પામે? If this is not a state in which we are, then how do we increase our Shraddha? જો ભગવાનનું મહાત્મ્ય જણાય તો મંદ શ્રદ્ધા હોય તે પણ વૃદ્ધિ પામે. If we are going to understand the Mahatmya of Bhagwan and Bhagwan's Katha Kirtan, જેમ પાણી પીવાનું વાસણ મૃતિકાનું હોય તેમાં સહેજે જ પ્રીતિ થાય નહીં, અને જો પાત્ર સુવર્ણનું હોય તો તેમાં સહેજે જ પ્રીતિ થાય. ભગવાનનું ને ભગવાનના કથા કીર્તનનું મહાત્મ્ય જણાય તો સહજ સ્વભાવે જ ભગવાનમાં ને કથા કીર્તનમાં શ્રદ્ધા થાય. Are we understanding the value and the importance of God's role in our life? He gives an example that if a vessel is made of mitti, of soil, we will look at it differently. But if the same is made of gold, we will look at it differently and we'll value it. Are we realizing what a gold standard, platinum standard role God is playing in our life? Right from creating us to maintaining us. How much of karuna it is that this heart doesn't stop beating, the breath doesn't stop. The mind is such a powerful tool. This human experience is such a brilliantly priceless, valuable experience. Who gave us this automated human body? How much did he charge us? How much rent are we paying to live on earth? How much is the grace of God to have given us this opportunity of being a human being? What is the purpose of this human birth? Am I fulfilling the purpose? Am I understanding the grace? Am I having the right gratitude for God? Am I living with the right attitude in life? These are questions that are fundamentally to be answered by us. Who am I? Why am I here? Who got me here? What am I using this human birth for? Am I just wasting my life behind sensual pleasures, or am I using it to dive inside and seek inner happiness, to connect with the divine and feel eternal bliss, love and peace? Am I using and utilizing this opportunity for the right thing, for the right purpose? If that Mahatmya of how blessed I am to have a Satpurush in my life, how blessed I am to have God in my life, how blessed I am to have spirituality in my life, because spirituality has solutions for all emotional, mental and material problems. Whatever difficulty we face, spirituality will help us overcome it. Whatever disturbances we are facing, there is a solution. But are we following? Are we doing what God has asked us to do? If we are, then we will slowly and steadily gain control over our senses and our mind and our life. It's a very simple path. It's not so complicated. We just have to have Shraddha in God and believe and implement whatever He says. The Shiksha Patri should be how we live our life, and we don't make our own rules. We don't use our own rigid mind and our own rigid logics to decide how we want to live life. We must trust the Master and the Creator. If we do that, we will follow whichever religion or whichever path we have subscribed to, we will follow it in totality. If it is Jainism, then we will do Paryushan with utmost sincerity. If it is Swaminarayan, then we will follow Ekadashi and all the rules of the Shiksha Patri with utmost sincerity. Whether it's Islam, whether it's Christianity, whatever we follow, we have to do it with full authenticity, full enthusiasm, for the love of it, for the joy of it, with complete surrender, with full faith, with full Shraddha. And nobody needs to remind us, nobody needs to motivate us, nobody needs to push us. It must come from within, because it's our own wish and will that we live this life with a liberated state of being and mind. We want to reconnect with God. This spiritual hole, this spiritual emptiness is what we are trying to fill with materialistic pleasures. And if we want to overcome them, there is spiritual guidance given to us for it. If we follow it, we are going to win over it. સહજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય.